Hello, I'm Dr. Daniel McCoy with K-Paul and Contact Mission. Where did God come from? It's not a bad question. Everything that we know of came from something. Your TV came from the store, your house came from a builder, you came from your parents. If everything came from something, then where did God come from? Now, the Christian answer to this is that God didn't come from anything. God has just always been there. He has always existed. This is what the Bible means when it says that God is from everlasting to everlasting. 1 Chronicles 16 verse 36. But it's hard for anybody to picture what it means to have always existed. The reason it's difficult for us to imagine is that we live in time. We can't even experience more than one moment at a time. We can't relive the past or tell the future. So it's understandably very difficult for us to even think about experiencing everlasting to everlasting. This is where it helps me to picture a book and its author. A book has a beginning and an end. It starts on page 1, and if you are a character in the book, it's going to be very difficult for you to imagine anything existing before page 1. But the truth is, there is a whole world that exists outside of the book, and that, of course, is the world of the author. The author exists before the book was written and will continue existing long after the final page. From his vantage point, the author can see the whole story. The author doesn't feel anxiety knowing that something terrible happens on page 87 because the author is well aware of the resolution that's going to happen in the final chapter. Now, there is a way that the characters in the book could get to know the author, and that would be for the author to write himself into the story as one of the characters. As C.S. Lewis has pointed out, that's exactly what God has done to reveal himself to us. In his own spiritual autobiography, C.S. Lewis explained it this way. He said, "If Shakespeare and Hamlet could ever meet, it must be Shakespeare's doing. Hamlet could initiate nothing. Shakespeare could, in principle, make himself appear as author within the play and write a dialogue between Hamlet and himself. Similarly, God wrote himself as one of the characters in our history, his name, Jesus." So can we review what we've said so far? Where did God come from? First, the Christian answer is that God has always existed. So he didn't come from anything. And second, even though it's hard to imagine someone always existing, just think of a book and its author. The characters in the book don't experience a world existing before and after their story, but that world they don't experience is very real. Can we take the answer just one more step deeper? At the end of the day, if you go back and back and back through history, you arrive at a beginning point to the universe. And if you kept going backward, you'd be faced with two options. Either there was nothing there, the universe popped into existence out of nothing, or something was always there, something capable of creating a universe. So, are there good reasons to think that there was a God already there who created the universe? Let's think about things that didn't used to be here that do exist now. Cell phones, trees, airplanes, you and me, and all these things that exist but didn't used to have something else in common. They were all caused to come into existence. Something caused their existence. They didn't pop into existence out of nowhere. There's no good reason not to apply this logic to the universe as a whole. Not only is the universe made up of things that didn't used to exist, but the universe itself didn't used to be here. For one thing, the energy in the universe seems to constantly be converted from usable energy to unusable energy. The sun and stars, for example, are diffusing their energy outward in an irreversible process to where eventually they will burn out. So, could the universe, with its energy constantly being converted from usable to unusable, have always been here, have been here forever? No, if the universe had always been here, then the universe would have run out of usable energy forever ago. The evidence is in, and the consensus of cosmologists is that the universe didn't used to be here. So we have a universe that didn't used to be here. Question, how did it get here? Could the universe have popped into existence out of nothing? surely there's a better explanation. Could the universe have caused itself? But that's logically impossible. Could the universe have been caused by another universe or by a universe machine that pumps out universes? But science hasn't even been able to discover the outer limits of our vast universe, let alone discover a hypothetical universe machine. And even if the universe machine did exist, for which we have no scientific evidence, how did it get there? Even though the question gets pushed back a step out of sight, the question never really goes away. Or there's the ancient explanation that continues to look better and better as science advances. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, Genesis 1:1. As mentioned earlier, everything that didn't used to be here has some kind of cause. But God, by definition, is eternal. He needs no cause. And given the options, number one, the universe randomly popped into existence out of nothing, which is logically impossible. Number two, the universe created itself, which is logically impossible. Number three, the universe was created by a universe machine, which is a naturalistic theory about something we can't detect scientifically. And number four, the universe was created. Which option makes more sense? Possibly the most profound question ever asked is, why does something exist rather than nothing? If there is no God and the universe didn't used to be here, then why do we have a universe? There's really no good reason. But if there is a God, things start making sense. And that's a major clue that there is a God, a universe that didn't used to be here. A God who has always existed may be difficult to wrap my brain around. But to be fair, if there were no God, then living in an awe-inspiring and life-permitting universe which came from nothing seems much more difficult to comprehend. Again, I'm Dr. Daniel McCoy for K-Paul and Contact Mission.